are now tuned in to Lightsaber Radio. If you only knew the power of dark
Here it comes. Let's go.
You are now tuned in to Lightsaber Radio. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there.
Welcome to Lightsaber Radio, the most outrageous Star Wars show on the web. If you haven't already done it, make sure you smash that subscribe button as well as the bell icon so you will be notified of all of our future episodes. Also, don't forget to press that like button. It helps get these videos in front of other Star Wars fans so they can get in on the outrageousness. So how's everyone doing today? Okay, so today's episode is going to be a little bit different because CJ and Garrison, well, Garrison's supposed to be showing up a little bit late, but CJ ain't going to be able to come on. He's working out of town for the company that he works on. So we're going to do it. I'm going to hold it down for everybody till till Garrison gets here. So we're going to start off with saying what's up to everybody. What's up, Chris? How you doing today? And we're going to talk about what I liked about the Rebels episode. And then we got some news and stuff that we need to discuss because there's some things going on that got me a little bit bothered, just a little bit. So I will try to break this down as best as possible. So first, we got the episode of Rebels. And on the Rebels episode today, we had Princess Leia in Rebels. Now, there was some things that was covered in this episode that kind of had me like, okay, wait a minute. Like, how old is Princess Leia at this point that Bail is sending her out to do stuff already? Because she looks like she's about 20-something years old. She looks kind of gorgeous in this episode. This is probably one of the finest periods that I have seen her in. What's going on, Clint? What's going on, Star Wars team leader? Garrison will be here shortly. So we're just kind of governing over the episode right now until he gets in, and then we're going to cover some news and stuff because, like I said, there's some stuff that's kind of bothering me a little bit. It's bothering me, but this is my personal opinion, and we'll get to that in a little bit. But I'm just thinking when it came to this episode she's 15 years old. And Bail is already sending her out. That's a good catch, Chris, because she's 15 years old. And Bail is already sending her out to do rebel shit. Like, what kind of father sends his 15-year-old daughter out in space and says, hey, go out here and just drop these ships off to the rebels? No, actually, Ezra is 2 days older than Princess Leia. Ezra was actually born 2 days over. I looked all this shit up because I was like, wait a minute, how old is Princess Leia? Like, dude, she can't be that old. Like, all this, the whole Rebels 4 seasons happens in like a 2-3 year span, and then it goes right into Rogue One, and it's like, you're right, Chris, free child labor. So it's kind of a little bit, you know what I'm saying, just a little bit strange that he sent her out that quick. Now, I think she's kind of like, this is the thing that kind of bothers me with this episode going into following with the original trilogy and Andor and Rogue One and all that. She sees Ezra and Kanan doing Jedi shit. She knows that they are Jedi, but she don't have no memory of any other Jedi, including Obi-Wan Kenobi. She has no memory of, she was like, that's very impressive. Oh my God. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she's very surprised. And how is she so surprised when this happens like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, she's surprised. Like, we just seen Kenobi. She was 10 or 9, 10 years old when when Kenobi happened. Like, she's seen a Jedi before. She knows what Jedi are. She talks about it in Kenobi. And then you go into Rebels, which is, after, 5 years after this, and she's like, oh my God, that was very impressive. Like, what is that? That's where they messed up with Kenobi. Honestly, that's where they messed up because they didn't stick with the thing. Leia don't know nothing about none of this stuff by the time New Hope comes. She don't know that Obi-Wan is a Jedi. She don't even know Obi-Wan. They just didn't do a good job of fitting this together. Honestly, it was a fan service. They just made something that they thought we was gonna like, but they didn't. They didn't keep all this stuff open, and it like there has to for them to do it right there. Now there has to be another season of Kenobi, because in some way, some shape or form, she has to get her memory wiped or get hit on the head and get amnesia or something. Something has to happen where she does not know, because in Rebels, she does not know about the Jedis. In New Hope, she does not know about Jedis. She don't know nothing about none of this stuff, which I'm surprised that Bail didn't tell her about this stuff, especially because, you know, he kind of helped hide Obi-Wan, and, you know, her dad is Anakin, and, like, Bail knows all this shit. So it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? But it just, I like the episode. Don't get me wrong. I like this episode of Rebels. You know, it had a lot of action in it. It had Leia in it. You can't go wrong with putting Leia in anything that has to do with Star Wars, especially because she's kind of hot for being 15 years old. She looks like she's like 20-something. She looks older in the cartoon than she did in the movie. That's the crazy thing. Carrie Fisher didn't look that old. She looked young. And the cartoon character in Rebels looks older than she does. That's what got me really thinking, like, how old is, what, that don't make no sense. So I started going to look shit up, went down this long ass rabbit hole of just trying to figure out what was going on. Okay, Chris said, I think it has to be a requirement that any director that writes for future projects to watch all canon shows and movies. I agree with that. Shit, read some damn books. It could even be some legend shit, but it just got to be, you know what I'm saying? You got to incorporate it with the canon shit. Like, you can't bring Legends characters into canon and then don't incorporate them into the canon timeline. When you just bring a character in and then you completely change what the hell is happening, everybody's just confused. Like, what is going on? Like, just imagine if they brought Revan in right now. Like, they did a Revan thing, and it's like Revan was after episode 9. Like, that wouldn't make no damn sense. It would be like, what the hell is going on? Like, what are you talking about? Like, this doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And that's the crap that they be pulling. And it just boggles my mind. Like, they didn't look at none of this stuff before they wrote Obi-Wan Kenobi. And y'all know that I'm not the biggest fan of Kenobi. I'm the 2-hour special, yeah, I'm a big fan of that. The whole series, I'm not the biggest fan. It's good. I enjoyed it. It's Obi-Wan Kenobi, but it was really about Reva. And that's okay. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying, at least make it coincide with the things that's happening. You have Rebels, you have Clone Wars, you have all the movies, you have New Hope, you have all these things that are happening. You have a platform of just a plethora of information. All you have to do is write within that information. Like, okay, Princess Leia didn't know Obi-Wan in the New Hope. You know, she didn't know about this. She didn't know about Jedis, you know what I'm saying? Or she already knew about Jedis because she met Ezra in them. So when she sees, like, Luke Skywalker, you know, or Obi-Wan fighting with Darth Vader, and she sees a lightsaber, she, you know what I'm saying, when they're running back to the Millennium Falcon, she could be like, oh my God, a Jedi. Because I'm pretty sure she knows Kanan is dead by this time, you know, by the New Hope. But it's just, you know, it would just make so much more sense. Now, my overall rating of the episode, I thought was pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I like this episode. It's a good episode. I like the fact that they brought Leia in. I think that they could have made it a little bit better. You know, it seemed like one of those things where they just kind of push something on you, you know, like, bloop. You know, like, here goes Leia. And you're like, what the hell? Leia's in this? Oh, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it wasn't something that was like the way that Ezra just snapped. Last episode, his parents died. The beginning of this episode starts off with him being remorseful of his parents dying. Then Leia talks to him and he just gets all better. Like, there wasn't no expansion on that. There should be more expansion on that. You know, that's how I feel like. Maybe he showed more anger or just something, just more. But overall, I think the episode was about a 7. I give it a strong 7. And I'm pushing through this part with Rebels because this wasn't a special episode. There wasn't nothing that was really, other than Leia being in, it wasn't nothing spectacular. There was some cool stuff. But there's some information, some news stuff that I think we really need to cover. Because you guys realize that I'm not the biggest fan of Rian Johnson. I don't think there's too many Star Wars fans out there that were just like, oh, Episode 7 was the greatest movie ever. Even people that love the sequels, all that I have talked to, most of them will say they didn't like Episode 8. Episode 8, The Last Jedi. Or, yeah. You know, there just wasn't, there was too, nobody liked the way that Luke went out. Nobody likes that. The movie is good. You can watch it. I watch it. I mean, it's a good movie. But it's not the movie, the way that he killed off Luke Skywalker bothers me. Well, it's all over the news. It's been everywhere. I mean, like if you go on, just type in Star Wars news, like 10 things pop up about him talking about the last Jedi and him talking, The Last Jedi, and him talking about the trilogy that he is going to get. Because we know that after The Last Jedi, he was promised a trilogy, and then it kind of has been 5 years, and there has been nothing that's been talked about it. Well, I guess in the interview, Kathleen Kennedy said that it's still on the table. It's still being done. It's just nobody has the time to get to it right now. And that Rian was, that Rian talks to her all the time about it. Rian actually did a interview with Empire Magazine. And basically, they both said that it's still on the table. It's still going to get done. That worries me. Because we know that Rian Johnson purposely did what he did in The Last Jedi to mess up because he didn't get the entire trilogy. Because J.J. Abrams did 7 and 9. He admitted that he intentionally messed it up in order to get, according to, just in order to get it right there. Hey, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the invite to this episode in the comments. So what you guys can do is, if you guys can get on, if you guys want to get on, y'all can just click on the link and come on the show. And we can talk about this a little bit more, because I want to get y'all's opinions better than just y'all writing it. Why did it do it 3 times? So anyway, it's in the thing. It's in the chat. Anybody can click on. Y'all click on, and where we can talk about this a little bit better. If you got time to get on your phone or whatever, because this is something that it bothers me a lot. It kind of hits me, because I just don't trust Rian Johnson. Like, he openly admitted. Like, he is a true, like, somebody need to kick him in his sperm purse. I'm telling you that right now. Like, just kick him in his chicken gizzards for reals. Because he admitted that. He's told everybody he intentionally wrote that. He intentionally made that movie so it would be hard to follow by J.J. Abrams. And I don't think that we need a Star Wars director like that. Like, that's really, really bad. Like, that just sucks that somebody would do that. It just pisses me off. It really does. But what can you do? Kathleen Kennedy says it's still on the table. The only reason it ain't been done is because they've been pushing so hard on Disney Plus for the series, all the different series. And I guess Taika was promised his movie first. Like, he was supposed to get his movie out. So that's just one of the things that I wanted to cover, because I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I don't know. It makes me uncomfortable. There we go. We got Chris on the show.
Hey.
So what do you think about this Rian Johnson crap?
This is the first time I'm hearing about it, and I was really hoping it was a done deal. He was not going to be doing this trilogy, and it's definitely disappointing to hear that it's still on the table, because Yeah, like you were just talking about before I was hopping on here, that he purposely like went away from J.J. Abrams's storyline and just wanted to do his own thing. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't Rey supposed to be one of like Kenobi's ancestors or something?
I'm not sure. I've read several different things about the different outlying, the outlier that J.J. Abrams wanted to do, but I don't know for a fact which one was correct or which one was right. I heard that he had the only reason they brought back Palpatine in the ninth movie is because they had to come up with something because where he had left him.
Mm-hmm.
Him killing Snoke. Snoke was supposed to be the prime antagonist during the whole three things. It was supposed to go all the way to the end, to 9. And when he killed him off in 7, then they had to create something. And they said, okay, we're just going to bring back Palpatine. He's the best antagonist anyway, which kind of screwed up everything because everybody was like, what? Palpatine's still alive. We all seen that dude die. You know what I'm saying? So it just, but I don't know for a fact if she was supposed to be, I think it was kind of always that she was supposed to be maybe not Palpatine, but like a Sith that has something to do with the Sith. I think that was, and I think that they actually took that from, and this is all he say, she say shit because of shit that I've read. But I think that it was actually supposed to be, she was supposed to be, I think the clone thing part of it, like her dad being a clone of somebody or a strand cast or somebody. I think that was, I think George Lucas actually wrote that, if I remember correctly, which I got MS brain. I might be just spitting shit out my ass right now. But I'm pretty sure I read something about that she was always supposed to be part of the dark side or came from the dark side.
Yeah, which would have been much better than, Kylo's part in Last Jedi of just saying, oh yeah, you're nobody. Where it was just like, all right, it seems like, especially before Rise of Skywalker came out, everyone just kind of thought, okay, they're just throwing away that storyline then. Like, it seemed like a waste of time at that point.
Well, if I remember correctly, when the original script was done for all 3 movies, Luke was supposed to be there. Luke and Leia were actually supposed to, Leia wasn't supposed to train Rey. Luke was supposed to train her all the way up. And then he found out who she was. Like he really found out who she really was. Kylo takes him out. And then she ends up taking Kylo out. Or something like that. Or it was something in that general sense. So it's just one of those things. It's like you intentionally screwed it up. Then they had to create a whole new storyline for the 9th movie. And not to say that the 9th movie was bad. I mean, it's Star Wars. I like everything Star Wars, but they weren't. I mean, the first one was just a remake of New Hope with Luke being Rey. The second one was just out there. Like, what? I mean, it's a good movie, but it's like, what is it saying, man? And JJ said he purposely screwed it up. And then, or not JJ, but Rian. And then JJ came in and he tried to fix it at the end and he did the best that he could do. But I think both of them steered away from the actual thing because you got Jedis flying and, she just floating in the air with, what I'm saying? Like, dude, Jedis don't do that. It's not, they're not superheroes. They can die.
I just want to try to find what has Star Wars not done, and I'll just throw it in there and just say the Force.
And I think it was because he had no choice. He had to just make it as oh, we got Garrison trying to click in. There we go. We got Garrison in here.
Hey.
Okay, so we're talking about this. I don't know if you've been reading the news.
Which one?
The Rian Johnson, he's getting his trilogy.
Oh my God. Okay. Did you hear what he said about it? I'm starting off swinging. Like, his quote is like, it would break my heart if I were finished. You know what broke my heart, Rian Johnson? The Star Wars sequels. Okay? I don't care about your heart right now.
I just think that it's, I just don't get it. I really don't get the fact of that he admitted Did he intentionally screwed it up and they're going to give him another shot? Like, you screwed it up for the next, instead of working with J.J. Abrams and saying, okay, they want you to do the last movie, can I at least consult and we can work together? We each got you did the first one, I did the second one, we'll work together and do the third one. That's how a real person that really wants to make good content comes in. Let's work together and do this and make just a phenomenal. Why don't we just both do it? I don't even have to get paid. I'm already rich. It's not like the money makes a difference to these guys.
Yeah, like Favreau and Filoni is a perfect example there.
Exactly. Come in, work together, and make awesome shit. But instead of, he just was a dick and just did some foul shit. That's all he did. He intentionally ruined the episode or ruin that movie in order to make it harder for JJ. And he admitted doing it. And I don't know if he's banging Kathleen Kennedy or what's going on, but why is she just going to give him another time? And she said it. She said that they talk all the time and it's still on the table. It's not been thrown out. Him getting a trilogy is still on the table. They just been pushing for the Disney Plus stuff, the TV series. So it's not, making the movies they kind of push it to the back burner as they try to push out more content for Disney Plus. But it's still there. That means he's going to get to make a trilogy.
Hopefully Kennedy is like actually just trolling him and just saying, oh yeah, maybe, and just never actually does.
I mean,
that'd be the best.
And I wouldn't be mad if they gave him a trilogy and they said, okay, here goes your borderlines. You can't do anything that has to do with this. You can't do anything that has to do with this. You can't, like, here you go. Make one about the Sith. You know what I'm saying? Old Republic. Make that. You know what I'm saying? Find a couple characters, make something like that. Or the High Republic era, make that. Because that's not going to come in and interfere with Canon's timeline or any of that stuff. Because that's all stuff that happened prior. They can make up anything and that can lead up to this point. But, like, don't let them come in and say, okay, we're going to make a trilogy of Boba Fett and then let him do it. He's going to ruin it. It's going to be all action, all, CGI crap, and it's not going to be no damn storyline. Because that's really what 8 lacked. 8 lacked the overall story because there was no direction because he was intentionally messing it up. That's why he took Luke out. That's why he took Snoke out. He took out the main characters that would have led into 9 being a better movie. So JJ just had to come in and make something that's going to wow you. And that's why 9 wasn't that good because it was just a wow movie. It was just a bunch of action, a bunch of CGI. The story was just good enough to get it by, and then it ended. And it ended with most people being like, what the hell? You ain't no Skywalker. You're a Palpatine. Why are you just stealing people's identity now? And that's basically where it went off to.
I agree with the 9 movie being a wow movie. Do you, because I know everybody's feelings about J.J. Abrams, or Rian Johnson, excuse me. No, everybody does not like Rian Johnson. Do you think he's like past redemption? What if he does come back, make a trilogy, and it's awesome? Would you like forgive him, I guess, or what?
I would, because I'm not a sequel. I mean, the sequel trilogy, like, I'll watch it. I don't have no problem watching it. They're good when you just watch them as standalone movies.
As their own movies, yeah.
They're not bad movies, but like to put them in the Skywalker saga, they just don't make sense. They're just not. They're not where it's supposed to be. Like, if it was me and if I had a chance to, like, go in and remake the sequel trilogy, I would have based it on Luke. That's what I would have done. I wouldn't have brought no new characters in. I would have based it on Luke. Luke being out there battling the remnants of the Empire, doing the things that Luke was supposed to do after he took over. Him training Jedis, him doing stuff. Even you could even still have Kylo Ren in there. You could bring him and Kylo get into it. He tries to kill Kylo. You could even put that whole scene in there. And then Kylo goes off and he joins the remnants of the Empire and they do what, they do. But you could take Luke and Leia should have been all the way to the end. They should have both been all the way to the end of the. Han Solo should have been all the way to the end. Or if you was going to kill him off better than his son stabbing him with a lightsaber. Like, dude, what the hell? Like, like that just doesn't make sense.
I
A
think-
lot of the things just was like, dude, you could have done way better than that. Like
Yeah.
they were more
I
for
think-
a wow factor. Like, oh my God, Han Solo's dead. You know what I'm saying? Instead of making him go out like Han Solo should go out. Han
Right.
Solo should have gone out like trying to,
In a blaze of glory.
yeah, he should have been, you know, don't tell me the odds fly into a planet or some shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how it should have
I
went out.
could
He
just
should have went out by his
imagine
son
that.
stabbing
Oh
him
my
with a
God.
lightsaber. That's stupid. You know, there was just a lot of things that just didn't make a lot of sense that they did. And these movies, and I know what they were trying to make something for the younger viewer. So anybody that's older or anybody that's really invested in the Star Wars, they're like, what the hell?
Well, I
Younger
think you make
viewers, newer viewers, they're going to be like, oh, this is great. And if you talk to
Yeah.
most people seen that really like the sequel trilogy, they seen the sequel trilogy first.
Right. I think you make a really good point when you say Disney's, and this doesn't just apply to the sequels, it's just a lot of Disney Star Wars. They're really good when they're taken at their own. Like all of them. Even Book of Boba Fett had some really good qualities when you take it by itself. Just where I think a lot of fans do get mixed up, and myself included, is when you apply it to the rest of Star Wars, how it doesn't really fit for me and it doesn't hold up to how I hold the other Star Wars. But if you look at them totally independently, the sequels as well as a lot of the series they're doing still kind of hold up on their own.
Yeah, they're good. That's kind of like, you know, Rogue One or Solo. You know, they fit into the timeline, but they're better as a standalone movie than they are when you put them with the other movies.
Rogue One is always good.
Well,
Rogue
and
One's
it's a
good
great
either way.
movie, but Rogue One really stands on its own.
Right.
Like
right.
it's a really good standalone movie. Solo is a good standalone movie. It had great acting in it. It had a good storyline. It had, you know, good plot points. It had everything was good. But when you kind of incorporate them with the other movies, it's like, what? Like, dude, y'all making Solo to be like way different. You made Lando way different than you pictured him as being younger. Because you got to remember, they was young in The New Hope.
Right.
This was like, you're going to take young Han Solo, which is probably in his late 20s, early 30s in New Hope. And then you take him and you bring him back to when he's 20.
Yeah.
Dude, he's not going to be that much different.
Right.
You know,
It's
he's going to be
10 years
close.
up.
So when you play them together, they kind of don't make sense. But a standalone movie, it's a great movie. I like Solo. I like I love Rogue One. But, you know, I like Solo as standalones. But when you kind of incorporate them with the rest, not too much. Mandalorian works great with the movies. Oh, we got Star Wars team leader up in here too. What's going on, sir?
He's on mute.
Oh, you're on mute.
But yeah, before he talks, I think you like even the TV shows. It's kind of the same thing. They're good at on their own, but when you kind of watch them along with the rest of Star Wars, I think that's where criticism comes from.
I'm doing all right.
Oh, there he goes.
Oh,
He's
there
here.
you go. So it was just, I don't know. So I'm pretty sure you've been listening before you clicked in. How do you feel about Rian Johnson getting a trilogy?
He's on mute again.
You keep going on mute. It keeps muting you for some reason.
It's just, I don't think they should do it.
Now, if he came out with, you know, like a Star Wars that was just super awesome and he did some really good shit, I think I would forgive him for doing what I don't think I would forgive him then. I'm lying. I'd still be like, you're a dick for fucking up the sequel trilogy.
Well,
but
for me,
I like
though,
your new
like,
shit. I would give him that. I would
The
say
Last
whether or not I
Jedi
like
for
it.
me had some really good parts to it, so I can see it objectively. He's capable of doing a really good story. The only part that I didn't like was the whole Luke Skywalker dying and not being as strong as he should have been. That was my only hesitation with Rian Johnson. But I think he has the potential to do a good job with another Star Wars story. It's just the fact of, do we want to forgive him?
I think that'll be the biggest thing.
whether fans are ready to forgive and forget or we're all still upset.
And with Kathleen Kennedy saying it's still on the table, and they just everybody, because basically she says it's on the table, it never went anywhere, but they've been pushing with the Disney Plus series, so it's being pushed out, and we'll get to it when we get a chance. Which, like Chris said, it could be something that never happened, and she just lead them along just to keep them happy. Oh, Chris disappeared. But it's one of those things that it's like, wait a minute, what is the possibilities? I mean, because what Rian Johnson did, Transformers?
I think so. Let me look.
Yeah, I think he did Transformers. And Transformers was great. Don't get me wrong. I like Transformers. I liked all the Transformers movies, except for the ones that got Mark Wahlberg in, and then they kind of started getting weird. But the original Star Wars,
I mean, Mark Wahlberg.
I like Mark Wahlberg. I just didn't think he played a good part in there. But, and the storylines kind of started getting real weird by the time Mark Wahlberg got in there. When it was, the other kid, it was in the first ones. I like those ones.
Oh, he did Knives Out. He did Looper, Breck. I don't know any of these.
Looper wasn't too bad. I thought he did Transformers. Who did Transformers? J.J. Abrams?
I don't know. Right, that's all that Rian Johnson had when I immediately Googled.
Loopers wasn't a bad movie.
I'm looking on IMDb. He did Knives Out, and I like Knives Out a lot. So
yeah, Knives Out, and he's doing the sequels to Knives Out right now for Netflix. That was in the
top movies. Yeah, his top movies are Knives Out, Looper, Star Wars, and Brick.
I don't know what Brick is. Looper wasn't a bad movie.
Couple episodes of Breaking Bad. Yeah, those are the only.
Oh, Michael Bay did Transformers. Okay, thanks, Chris. I don't know why I thought Rian Johnson did.
Yeah, how do you confuse How do you confuse Rian Johnson with the explain fetish guy?
I don't know. I got MS brain. I be forgetting shit. All right, so what else did we have that I wanted to talk about with news? Oh, this shit is crazy. The DL-44 heavy blaster pistol by Han Solo. They was estimating it was going to go his original blaster that he used in the movie. They said it was going to go for at auction for around $300,000 to $500,000, which is $500,000 for a damn prop. That's a lot. This shit went for $1,057,000.
Holy shit!
$1,057,000 for a damn movie prop. Now I understand. If you got it, yeah, screw it, just spend it. But Jesus Christ, that's a lot of money for a prop. Like, is it like signed? Did like Harrison Ford shove it up his ass or something? Got like Harrison Ford doo-doo on there? Like, what did he do with this to make it worth that damn much money? Like, that's just freaking crazy. That is a lot. $1,057,000. Like, that's a shit ton of money for a movie prop. And let's see who bought it.
Oh, it has the name of the random guy who bought it?
I thought it did.
Actually, I think I saw pictures of it, but I don't think I saw what it sold for.
It was originally used in another movie too.
Oh, was it? What was it supposed to be, like some like German pistol replica?
No, it was used by what's his name? The one from The Great Escape. It was a sniper, had a long stock on it before they took it off.
A long stock on it. I don't know. Huh.
Yeah, I don't.
It's up in my mind. I've got pictures of it, but I forget. I want to say it was like Midnight Running or something like that was the name of the movie.
Yeah, it doesn't say on here who bought it. I thought it said who bought it, but it doesn't say it. It was done by the Rock Island auction companies who did the auction for it, but it doesn't say who. It says it was the prop used in in New Hope. Solar Blaster helped establish the tone of the original trilogy. The one he used in Mos Eisley's cantina when he shot first.
Either way, I know it looks like a German Mauser pistol.
Yeah, it's a German pistol.
Which I didn't realize, like, a bunch of the Star Wars guns were, like, influenced by real life guns.
That thing looks just like...
They were real guns.
Yeah.
That's why I don't get why everybody's upset about Andor and the AK-47 looking gun. It's like, dude, come on. Like, most of the guns used in Star Wars look like regular guns, except for, like, the Imperial blasters. They all look, or the Stormtroopers. That shit don't look like
the E11s were German grease
they were
gun.
British. Yeah, they were British, like, basically the British version of the American greaser gun. I can't remember what they're called. Starts with an S or something.
But that's just, I thought that was crazy, which is cool because whoever bought it, they got a piece of history that will probably sell for $10 million in 20 years. So they'll definitely make their money back and probably more. But
it was a Sterling SMG. That's what it was.
Then what else did I have? This, okay. Now I'm going to share my screen on this. Okay. Because this is dope.
Have you even talked about the episode, or are we just doing news?
Yeah, we talked about the episode. I mean, I talked about it for like the first 10 minutes before I just invited everybody else to just come on the show because I wanted to get other people's information on that Rian Johnson garbage. It's like, I don't know. Yesterday I looked up Star Wars news. I was sitting there, I was bored. I was writing on the other podcast, and I was like, man, I need, let me talk about some news. Let me see what's on the news. And I clicked out, just put in Star Wars news, and like the first 10 things all popped up about Rian Johnson, either talking about his trilogy or him talking about how proud he was of episode 8. Like, what is this dude talking about? So I read like 10 articles. And I was like, dude, this dude's tripping. Like I don't give him a damn trilogy. And then I was reading through it, and Kathleen Kennedy said yes, and he talks to Kathleen every day. Like, what are you, stalking her? What's wrong with you? And he told Empire Magazine that he talks to her every day. I talk to Kathleen Kennedy every day. Like, what? Like, that just doesn't even sound good. First, you intentionally messed up the movie. Then you call Kathleen Kennedy every day? Like, are you dating her, man? What are y'all banging or something? What's
Dude,
going
that
on?
honestly sounds like it when you say it like that, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what? So I was like, dude, we definitely got to talk about that. All right, let me share my screen right quick. This is the new Andor poster. And, like, I was trying to go through here and, like, look at some of the characters and try to guess who they was because I don't have no idea.
The rebellion begins.
But that's a dope poster.
It does look sick.
That's a sick looking poster.
That's a nice poster.
I like how they do the Andor logo.
Andor logo's cool. It looks Star Wars-y, but it also looks new and cool. So I like that. Saw Gerrera, he's in there. Tarzan's dad. Who's that girl up there?
This one up here?
No. The one right below her. Is that the girl from Knives Out or no?
I'm not sure.
Someone else. Oh no, I think that's someone else.
One of them is like his love interest. They was
her.
talking about that in a couple of things. So it's one of these. It's going to be one of these. I don't think it's her.
You don't think
Might be her, or her. I'm guessing it's probably her.
I think it's the top, like the one below that top girl, like the second girl from the top. Jeez.
I think this is the chick that's going to be playing Mon Mothma.
Yeah.
I don't know who this dude is. He looked like he might be.
What is that in the bottom right? Like right below the smoke. What is that? Is that like a droid or something? No, up right there. Yeah.
That's that looks like the transports from the Clone Wars.
Yeah. It looks like either a droid or one of those.
The droid-looking thing.
It's either.
If you look at it, that looks like a transport. That looks like one of the stormtrooper
like
transports from the Clone Wars.
I can't tell what that is.
And I can't get it any bigger.
Yeah,
It won't let me go any bigger. But that's what it looks like from the back. If you really look at it, it got some 2 boosters on the thing, and then you know how they jumped out right here. The transport that they picked up in the Clone Wars movie that they flew in and picked up Yoda and Obi-Wan after the battle in Geonosis. Remember how them ships looks? That's what it looks like. Looks like stormtrooper transport.
Oh, dude, it totally does. I'm zooming in on it on my own screen. That's exactly what it looks like. It's got to be it. It's got to be that. That's sick.
And then there was one other thing that I wanted to bring up because I think this is pretty important. Because I tried it myself and it didn't work. So let me stop sharing this screen, go to the next screen. So I don't know if this is just, actually I'm gonna move it over. Hold up, let me do it like this. Move this over here, move this over here. Share.
Oh, Chris had a comment real quick. Garrison, did you think Leia's role in this Rebels episode creates more plot holes in Kenobi with Leia's story? Like what? I didn't notice any, but I'm sure if you mention it, I could figure it out.
Okay,
I did think Leia was kind of bitchy.
The fact that, okay, so when we was talking about the episode, actually, okay, we'll go back to that in a second. Okay, Chris, just give me a minute. All right. So this person posted this on Reddit. Okay. This was the conversation that they said they had with whoever the Sherry May E on Disney Plus. So I attempted to do it myself. I tried on Disney Plus, going through their help thing. I went to Disney to Star Wars website, tried to do it with that. I tried to do it a bunch of times, and it didn't work. It just kept saying, even when I got an actual person that says at this point, we do not know when the time is being released, and everybody's saying that the Bad Batch is coming out on September 28th.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, there's all kind of news articles about it. There's all kind of people talking about it on Reddit. It was popped up on my Instagram.
So, because we heard it,
there's no confirmation.
Delayed, but no,
there's no confirmation on any Disney websites, actual Disney websites. I went on to Disney Plus online. I went on to StarWars.com. I went on to a bunch of different things, tried to get into contact. I could never get into contact with an actual person. An actual person never got back to me. It was always an automated service, and it always kept saying they didn't understand the question. So I don't know if this is made up, because there's no confirmation from Disney whatsoever. You think with this coming out on Reddit, it's been on all these different platforms with a news article, Disney would have already made a comment. And I guess this happened like 2 days ago. So is this fake news? Is this just propaganda at this point? I would have to say, and what I believe is yes, that it is. It's just propaganda. This is somebody made this and just put this up.
I can't tell if it's either a fake or if it's like this Sherry May is an employee who just said something messed up, like misquoted it or said something incorrect.
Well, this is my thing. So it says, "Hi, thank you for contacting Disney Plus. My name is Sherry. How may I assist you today?" Okay, perfect grammar. You go down here. Hello there, Star Wars fan. First off, why would they put Star Wars fan in lowercase lettering?
Right.
Star Wars.
Well, if you look at the top, it looks like it's laid over.
Well, that could just be because I blew it up so when we put it on the screen, everybody could read it good. And then, but that's also it says chat started at whatever, and it could just be that it blew up because you had to scroll it to really see it.
It does look an awful lot like an iMessage, though.
It does look like a actual message, but I couldn't get a hold of nobody, and what got me is like, okay, why? Like, hello there, Star Wars fan. There, Star Wars fan. All of that's in lowercase letter. You know, and if you put hello there, it would be hello, then it would be there. The apostrophe would be on the other side.
Oh, yeah, like the comma.
Yeah, the comma, I mean, would be on the other side. And in Star Wars, fan might not have to be, but Star Wars would be in capital letters, especially if you work for Disney Plus. You know what I'm saying? Like Disney Plus is capitalized, September is capitalized, but this is not capitalized. And then when I tried to do it, because I just, I'm like, okay, this could be real. So let me go on there and see if I can do it. If I can talk to somebody or if I can get somebody to chat back to me. And all I kept getting was the automated people. So not to say, human error, this could just be human error and if they're really talking to somebody, but I could never get to talk to anybody. Right. It kept sending me just through them automated systems. And it'd say like, go click in and go over to ask different question. And I went through all the prompters to actually talk to somebody. And then I waited like 5 hours and nobody ever hit me back. It was like, if you want to talk to a customer service representative, click here and then they'll get a live person will get in it. Like 5 hours, nobody ever got back to me. So, and I'm just, me personally, and this is just my opinion about it, if you are Star Wars or if you're Lucasfilms, and even if somebody did mess up and send out this question, or they actually got to talk to this Sherry May person or whatever, and they actually talked to somebody, and this information got released that it was coming out on September 28th, wouldn't you put out a statement? What the cat's already out of the bag at that point. Put out a statement, say, yeah, it is set to be released on September 28th.
Right.
It's not going to hurt nothing. If the information's already out there, you might as well confirm it.
I'm just confused why September 28th was the original. Then we find out it's being delayed.
And Disney announced that it was going to be delayed.
Yeah, and why back for 28th all of a sudden? I can't think of a reason to delay it and then just bring it back. You know what I mean?
Oh, what happened to Star Wars team leader?
I have no idea.
Okay, let's see. We'll get back to that. That was just one of the things. Okay, plot holes that come to mind are Leia acts like she's never seen a Jedi before, and if her family is known for sympathizing with the Jedi, how is she not labeled as a traitor by the Empire?
Okay, so the never seen a Jedi before, yeah, she did look surprised, but she also could just be surprised because Jedi are really rare and far in between.
I don't know. That just kind of seemed odd to me. That was one of the problems that I had with the episode. Dude, she's 15 years old at this point.
Then that's not a problem with Rebels. That should be a problem with Obi-Wan, because Obi-Wan.
Well, that's the whole thing. Like I was saying in the beginning before everybody jumped on, because I talked for like 10 minutes about it before I moved on to the news and rumors stuff. When I was talking about it, I was basically setting she's 9-10 years old in Obi-Wan Kenobi. So she has Obi-Wan Kenobi. She's seen a Jedi. She knows who the Jedi are, all that. But then when Kanan turns on his lightsaber and jumps and hits the walker, cuts the legs off of the walker, she's just like, oh my God. And then he was like, you think that's a good, Ezra was like, you think that's good? Let's see what I can do. And he jerked the guns and the one hit him in the helmet. And, and she's like, she's surprised about this. You just seen a Jedi 5 years ago. You seen Obi-Wan 5 years ago. Then you go into Rebels. You act like you've never seen a Jedi, and then you had no idea who Obi-Wan Kenobi was in New Hope. I mean, and she said it. You served my father during the Clone Wars. So,
yeah,
Chris brought up a very good point. Like, if you guys are gonna come out with Disney stuff, like
Right.
Star Wars stuff, you need to go back and make these people go through all the Star Wars stuff before they start writing, because they're writing in stuff. Now, the only way that they can fix this is, to me, and this is just my opinion, they might come up with a different thing, but in my head, is by like doing a season 2. Somehow she gets hit in the head, or she gets her mind erased, or
No, that would be so stupid, though.
something to cause her to have, you know what I'm saying, where she don't remember none of this shit. She has to have a memory loss of somehow
That would be
for
dumb.
it to make sense. Oh, Star Wars team leader says laptop dropped.
Memory loss would be so. Don't do
They
that.
they
That's
have
so
to do that
cheap.
at this point
That's
for it to
such
make any
bad
sense.
Writing. It's such
And if they
bad
come back and they
writing, though.
do season 2 and she's already 15, then that just blows that whole thing out, or
No,
older.
you cut it. You cut your losses. You effed up. Just don't talk about it. That's what I think Disney should do with a lot of their shows, with the whole plot, whole thing. Now, the family known for sympathizing, yeah, I definitely agree with that. That is kind of
Well, I mean,
inconsistent.
and where's the proof on that? That's another thing.
Well, you see in episode 3, like his dad is literally hanging out with Yoda and Obi-Wan and literally saves Yoda. Like,
Yeah, but you don't know that. They like the Empire doesn't know that at this point.
you're telling me you got no security cameras or nothing of him riding around in his convertible speeder with Yoda sitting in the passenger seat,
Well,
parked right under the Senate while Yoda and Palpatine are battling?
I don't know. There's a lot of plot holes throughout everything. That's just part of Star Wars. Okay, so one of the things that I want to do, we were supposed to do it on Saturday, but I completely forgot about it. But I think we should do it now. For the new series that's coming out on the making of Obi-Wan, I figured that we do look at the trailer for that.
Ooh,
So let's go ahead on and... Oh, wait, what the hell?
let's do
What are we
it.
doing?
I'm loving these bountiful trailers we've been getting.
Yeah, we've been getting a
Plentiful.
lot. Why is it not letting me pick a damn... Why is it... What the hell is going on?
Oh, it's just me. Well, Chris said Reva knew it, which is why they kidnapped Leia. So if she knew, it's kind of hard to believe that no one else would know. That's
Okay.
a great point.
My bad. I hit the wrong button.
Wait, that's a fantastic point. If Reva knew that by capturing Leia, Obi-Wan would come looking, why does nobody else know that? That is a fantastic point, Chris. You're just making me hate Obi-Wan even more.
Well, we're about to look at the trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi: A Jedi Returns, the making of. So let's watch it, and then we can talk about how much we hate it even more.
They're gonna go
All right,
through the writers and like, yeah, we've never seen Star Wars.
I remember clearly the first time I saw Star Wars.
Hello there.
It's a surreal world to be a part of. Coming back to it after all these years was very meaningful to me. My first day on set, I shouted, "Obi-Wan!" I saw a hand go up.
I feel hugely fortunate to be able to do this, but also a big responsibility to trying to do it right.
They did it.
Obi-Wan Kenobi is an iconic character. I don't think I'd imagined the scale of the series.
It blew my mind.
So many people have such an emotional relationship to the Star Wars galaxy. It's in everybody's life.
Okay.
So they understood what a big deal this show is supposed to be.
And
why
they
was
messed
it
it
not
up
perfect?
anyway.
Yep.
Which is kind of, watching it and watching the making of it, maybe we'll get an understanding why they had all the damn camera shake in there for. And
is this going to be released on Disney Plus? This documentary?
yeah, from
I don't know.
my
Makes me
understanding,
think-
it's going to
Makes me think it was fake. If in the documentary they don't say we realize this was an untapped market, we can make a lot of money from Obi-Wan. If they don't admit that like Obi-Wan was for money, let's be honest, which it was, then I think
still
they're
wanna watch
acting
it.
in the documentary.
I don't like the fact that, you know what I'm saying, Marsha puts down George Lucas in the Unearthed documentary, but I see why she did it. You know what I'm saying? Especially after watching Light and Magic. You know, I've been watching like on episode 3 of Light and Magic. I don't know why. I hadn't watched all of it. So I watched like episode 3 yesterday, and I'm watching it, and I'm like, and they're bringing up all the stuff that was going on, and they're trying to create Light and Magic, and they're trying to do, you know, George is trying to create the business and everything, and then all the stuff that was going on, and they're, you know, talking about the things that they were doing. It all flows together. I think that they put out the Unearthed documentary right at the good time, and then put out Light and Magic at the same time, so you get like both points of view, sort of. Because George is talking about nobody was doing the things that he wanted done in the movies. Wasn't nobody doing it. I mean, the technology wasn't even there. They created the technology to make the movie. And, you know, when Marsha and some of the guys, because they're in both the documentaries, some of the guys from like Dykstrom and all them, they're all in the documentaries. They're in both documentaries. So it's like, dude, this is like good information, like stuff that I didn't even know. And I've watched almost all the documentaries on Star Wars. So a lot of the stuff, like I knew about him and Marsha's divorce, and, you know, how brutal it was and how much stress it put George. George just talked about it. He just won't talk to her. Like she was like he won't talk to her at all. And it's messed up. But we don't know the stuff that happened behind closed doors. And that's another thing that a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people are like, oh, George is a dick. He treated Marsha wrong. Marsha is a whore, you know what I'm saying? And all that. Because basically Marsha had an affair, you know what I'm saying? But George was gone. He was trying to build this empire. So, but we don't know what, and that's all speculation. She didn't say it in the documentary, and, you know, it's never... No actual factual, you know, stuff has came out that she actually had. But there's a reason by them, you know, they don't just, I mean, I guess some people just grow apart, but most of the time it's because of either money or infidelity when a marriage ends. So I don't know what the whole situation is, but just watching both of them documentary, like watching Unearthed, watching all, you know, all of that, and now starting watching Light Magic, and them just talking about the situations and the stuff going on, and them creating things and doing the things that they did, is just like, holy shit. Like literally when George got back from Europe, when they were filming A New Hope, or wherever they were at, when they were filming A New Hope, and he got back and they only had two slides done. I had two. They had 2 scenes filmed. That's it. 2. And he was like, what the fuck are you doing? What the hell? They out here jumping down water slides into hot tubs, and, you know what I'm saying? And just doing all kind of crazy shit. But, you know what I'm saying? Because of the family environment that they created at ILM was why they were able to do what they did. And it's just amazing that most of these dudes didn't ever even graduate, you know, college. You know, they just took dudes off the street that just wanted to do this and had some skill, and they created one of the greatest movies of all time. It blows your mind. And just to watch, you know, that's one of the things, like even on The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, to watch the making of, dude, that shit is inspiring, man. Like, the only problem is every time I make it, I'm like, dude, I got a $10,000 camera in the damn closet that I haven't filmed shit on. I want to do a movie, but it's just hard because I can't find nobody wants to do shit. Like, there's no Star Wars fans in this damn town, I swear. Like, I put out stuff on Facebook. I went on the damn Columbia thing. I figured, being a college town, somebody got to be going to school for something that has to do with this shit, you know, filmmaking, and I can't get nobody.
Damn. Rip.
Not anybody that wants to do it just for credibility. I'm not about to pay you to do that shit. Like, because this shit is going to be just, I'm not making no money on it. It's just going to be a passion project. But it's, I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that can be done, you know, in Star Wars. It's just like I was talking earlier, me and Chris was talking. I could see, like, if they let Rian Johnson, say he did a Old Republic trilogy, I wouldn't have no problem with that. Or, you know, if they bring in, because we know that they're going to be doing some High Republic shit. They're pushing this High Republic thing with the books, and the High Republic is, you know, it's one of their driving forces. Mm-hmm. So we know that the games, they're pushing back on some of the games to do the High Republic stuff. And I know that's some of the movies is going to be High Republic type movies. And I don't have no problem with that, because as long as you stay within the timeline.
Right.
You know, if it leads us to A New Hope, or it's a character, don't come out with some character that's not Bane, you know, that started the rule of two, but you could take.
Exactly. Well, because in the High Republic era, I feel like there's a lot of room to move around while risking the least amount of damage to what we already know about Star Wars. Unless they start doing like more force powers that like we've never seen before. I know people still want to see that, but if you make him too crazy, people are going to be like, what the hell? That's bullshit. Kind of like Leia flying back into the spaceship.
Well, it depends on if they had Jedi doing shit, then it's going to be like, nah, man. Wait. Well, I don't know, because even in the High Republic books, man, one of the Jedis was just floating in the air and he's screaming and it's like shaking the whole building. And, you know, they got some stupid, crazy statues that are causing plants to come alive and all kind of weird shit. But I mean, it's good because it's different. I don't mind different as long as it's good different. If you just like, if they did say they did a movie about Vitian, you know what I'm saying? That would be dope as shit, especially because Vitian destroyed a whole planet. He sucked the force out of a whole planet to become immortal. That would be dope. I would not mind seeing it. A movie about Revan. I would not, like, you could do a trilogy just off of Revan, because you have to show Vitian's time. They have to, you know, show all this different stuff. You could do an entire trilogy off of Revan alone. Just from the book, you could do an entire trilogy. Or even if they went back to back before the Jedis had lightsabers and they were still using regular swords, but they used the Force. You know, back in, you know, way back in the day before there was Sith and Jedi.
Yeah, what
I'm
book
still,
was that?
dude,
Dawn of the Jedi?
whoever comes out, when they ever do it, and I don't know if it's written in like the contract or whatever, but I know somebody's going to do it. Disney's going to do it sooner or later. Come out with a Yoda origin story.
Oh, please no.
I'm telling you, it's going to happen. Somebody is going to do it.
Not origin. I'm fine with like High Republic Yoda, but I don't want his origin story.
Like, because everybody wants to know where Yoda came from. That's one thing that George said that nobody would ever know, but now Disney owns it. I have a feeling that they will do it.
I'm fine with like Yoda in like previous times, but don't show his entire like origin. But I feel like you're right, Kyle, because with the whole Baby Yoda thing, that just stokes the curiosity more.
Yeah,
like they're going to give some kind of background. They have to.
And it's gonna be good, but depending on who they get to direct it, who they get to write the story.
It's not going to be good.
And I have a feeling it's going to be good because it's something that everybody wants to know that. But I hope they don't do it.
Oh, Chris, I would like that too. He says, here's a story I would like to see. Bounty hunter gray Jedi hired by the Jedi to hunt down Sith. That would be cool. Wouldn't it be cool to see like a Mando type Jedi? Like a Jedi who plays by his own rules. He's not like evil, because then that's just a Sith. But he's also not like goody good Jedi. He's kind of just like a rogue samurai. That would be cool to see something like that.
Well, that's kind of who.
That's what that one show.
The Mandalorian, because he left the Jedi Order, went back to Mandalore, and then he was kind of like he wasn't.
What's up, Bodie?
What's going on, Bodie?
Who are you talking about?
Like what's his name? Pre Vizsla or whatever his name was.
Oh,
the Mandalorian Jedi, the dude that left the Jedi Order, went back to Mandalore. I know it's Clan Vizsla or Vizsla is or Ran is
Vizsla.
Is it Pre Vizsla? Per Vizsla? I can't remember what it is.
Vizsla.
Oh yeah, Ter Vizsla. That would be a dope movie because then you'd have everything that you want. Everything that would like make everybody happy. You got Mandalorians, make all the Mandalorian people that love Mandalorians. You got Jedi people that make all the people that love Jedi. That would be a dope movie. And you'd have the Darksaber in it for reals, like somebody that actually knew how to use it.
Yeah, that would be sick.
That would be really dope. Like how he made the Darksaber, that would be cool. Because you know what? If you think about it, out of all the movies, it doesn't ever show anybody making a lightsaber in a movie.
That's true.
There's never one point. Now, we get it in the Clone Wars.
Yeah, you get it a lot in the cartoons.
But they never did it in live action. Like somebody like the only thing that you guys like fan films, because there's a couple fan films that are really cool. And, you know, like there's one with this girl, I can't remember the name of it, but she like lifts it up and then all the pieces start snapping together and the crystal goes in and everything. It was well done. But having that in live action or on a movie, somebody actually constructing a lightsaber,
that would be cool.
That would be something totally that I could get behind. I'd be like, dude, that's the dopest part of the movie. The rest of the movie could suck as long as I could see him make a lightsaber. That would be cool. Just because I've never seen it. I would like it. I don't know. Like I said, you know, that's the thing. Like, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Book of Boba Fett, like standalone, just watching them and just taking out of the factor that this is Obi-Wan Kenobi and this is Boba Fett. Just looking at it as a standalone. They're good. They're not bad. But like you said, when you start putting them in the timeline within Star Wars, that's what ruins them. The sequel trilogy. All the movies is good. They're just not part of the Skywalker saga. It's like
the inconsistencies, the plot holes, the misalignment that drives people crazy.
And I think that's where a lot of the fans
Hello?
Yeah, the books, they describe it in the books. They do it in the cartoons. The Star Wars team leader just said, I love in Ghost of Tatooine how they explain Luke making his lightsaber with the books. But it's not shown on I would like to see it in live action. I really would. I think that would be really cool. There's a lot. See, that's the thing, man. And I think that's one of the things that sucks when it comes to me. Because I've listened to or read most of the books. And it's just there's so much good Star Wars content that they could make. I don't understand for the life of me why they're trying to create new shit. And you have all this information, all these stories that you could just draw from. Like, could you imagine if they did Shatterpoint and made that into a movie or a series?
Yeah.
Or anyone, like Thrawn Ascendancy, any one of those books. Like, they could make any one of those books. They could make the Bounty Hunter Wars. What really happened with Boba Fett. You know, going back to all the old stuff. You know, Revan, you know, Sith Apprentice. You know, all these great books that they just have like a plethora. I mean, so much stuff that they could just make movies out of that they never would have to write a script ever. Like the scripts they could just make from the books. And there would be so much dope ass Star Wars. Because some of the best Star Wars stories that I have ever heard in my life is from the books. I mean, even if they took, like Vitiant and Revan and Bane and just, you know, oh God, man, there's just so many. Even if they did a live action series of like Brotherhood. And Brotherhood wasn't even that great of a book, but it's way better than what they did with Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, it's a good book, but it's not like one of my favorites. Or even if they went and did some of the High Republic books, like if they took some of them High Republic books, like Tempest Runner, oh my, dude, that would make one of the dopest, like oh man, that movie, that book is one of my favorite books. And it's a new book. And I don't usually read newer books and be like, oh, this is great. Tempest Runner was awesome. That book is just amazing. And it's like, dude, if they made that into a movie, and that ain't even really, I mean, it got Jedi in it, but it's not like really a lot of Jedi action. You know, it's more of what happens to this one character, you know, and it just, it's just so good. You know, there's just so much stuff and there's a lot of the book, like, there's a lot of characters and a lot of the books that they can make stories from that just would be, I mean, come on, man. Like, dude, make some of these books into movies, like, or into TV series. It would be so awesome. Right. And they don't have to get away because a lot of them coincide with the canon's timeline. You know, there's just none of them is considered canon, but there's a lot of them that flow with the canon timeline.
I think what it is I think they're kind of half scared, half lazy. One, because if you're doing a Star Wars that we haven't seen away from the Skywalker saga, you're gonna have to make a good solid story that people are gonna like. You're not drawing people in just because familiar characters. You're not drawing people in because they want to see a certain Star Wars character that they've seen before. The only similarity is Star Wars. It's in the same universe. Like, it requires them to put a lot more into it and create good characters and create good stories. I feel like the reason they stick with the Skywalker saga is because they can kind of cut corners in some of the storytelling and the character development, because these are characters we already know, we've already seen, so they can cheat a little bit when it comes to the storytelling.
Well, I mean, but look at it. Disney's most successful things that they have done so far is brand new characters.
Right.
Because we didn't know nothing about Andor. We didn't know anything about Cassian Andor before Rogue One came out. None of the characters in Rogue One. Yeah, it fit in with the timeline and it made sense. But at the same time, we didn't know any of these characters. Then they came out with The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is great. We hopefully that season 3 will be great now that they kind of push past, you know, the whole trying to find Grogu a Jedi. And so their best stuff is brand new stuff that they've created. You know, at least 2 things that was really, really good that they done. When they try to go back off of other characters, and even with the sequel trilogy, because it's based, you know, Rey is the main character and Kylo Ren, but you still had Luke Skywalker, you still have Leia, you still had Han Solo, you still had Chewbacca, you still had C-3PO, you still had R2, you still had all these other characters. They brought in new characters, but they still based it off of the original premise. Mm-hmm. So it's the new stuff, it's the new creations that they created.
Yeah. And those new creations, when they put the work in, they can be phenomenal stuff. Like Rogue One, largely brand new characters, new story, and it was amazing.
And it's one of the best movies.
It was one of the best movies, hands down. So I think we know Disney has the potential to do awesome stuff. Just sometimes I feel like they get complacent because they have characters they already know. They don't have to work as hard, get a little bit lazy, because Star Wars is already established without them.
Well, and I don't mind that if they make good stories out of those characters, but they didn't do that. They took 2 of the best characters in Star Wars with Obi-Wan and Boba Fett, and they just gave us stories that we didn't want.
Well, we've ridden this horse, I think, every episode.
Yeah, I think we talk about it a lot. Well, just because that's what we have to talk about. This is the latest content that's came out with that has to do with Star Wars. And, like, I don't know. I have a great feeling that Andor is going to be good because it's going to be totally different.
My hopes are high.
And you know me, when they first talked about Andor, it was like, all right, I'll watch it because it's Star Wars, but I'm not even... But the more and more that I see it, like looking at this poster, this poster looks amazing. It looks like Andor is going to be dope. Looking at the trailer, looking at that clip, like, dude, it's way darker. It's way more intense. It's way more Star Wars.
Yes.
and they don't even have Jedi in it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not the one. I like Jedi and Sith. I want to see the Force. I want to see lightsabers.
Yeah. Like
and for me to be excited about something that doesn't have that in there, I don't usually get excited if it doesn't have the Force and Jedi and Sith and, you know, I mean, I'm pretty sure that they're gonna have, you know, Palpatine and Luke and Darth Vader in the Andor series, especially because Hayden slipped up and said that he filmed some other stuff, and it's like, okay, what was you filming? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, dude, only thing else you got to do is Andor, unless you was filming for season 2, which is possibility because Ewing slipped up and said 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, it's like, okay, what are you trying to say? You already filmed the 4 more episodes? But
yeah, I don't know. I guess we will see how it goes. You alive?
I'm just reading what Chris wrote.
Oh.
He said if they start to get away from the Skywalker saga, they have completely freedom to do whatever. But they just want to keep milking the story until all the original actors are dead. Mark Hamill will be like 80 and they will just say, just DH him. Yeah, that'll probably happen. That'll probably happen, especially with the de-aging process and all this deep fake shit, man. They're getting really, really good at that. All right, guys, I think that's about it. I think we done talked about everything. Oh, what did you think of Rebels? What would you give it? I gave it a 7. I thought it was a solid episode, but there was some things I just didn't like how they went away from the timeline, and you know what I'm saying? And they had, and I didn't like, you know, that Organa was already sending his 15-year-old daughter out.
She was a bitch.
Hey, she was sexier than she was in the movie.
That's true. I think like 5, to be honest.
Really, a 5?
Yeah, because now that you point out those plot holes, I'm like, yeah, I really.
I don't know, 5. Okay. So we got some pretty good announcements. Let's get that. Star Wars team leader gave it a 6.5. That's a good rating. I say, you know, 7 is what I gave it. I liked the episode. There were some things that just bothered me, but I think that bothered me more with Obi-Wan Kenobi than the episode. So, if everything goes right, and it should, there's nothing in the way of saying that the stuff may happen. We're gonna have David Pascazzi. I don't know how to say his last name. The dude that played Major Domo. Why can't I get these words out? How do you say it? Major Domo?
Mad Domo? I don't know.
It's like Major Domo, whatever. In the Book of Boba Fett, he will be here Saturday. So he will be on our Saturday episode. We're going to get into some Book of Boba Fett and because his part was probably one of the best parts in the thing. He was in 5 of the episodes. He played a great...
He acted.
He played a great part. Well. So we're going to get some information from him. And he'll be here on Saturday. So that's going to be super cool. So to make sure nobody miss out on that episode. Everybody try to make it, because we definitely want y'all to put questions that y'all have for him in the comments. If y'all have any questions, put them in the comments, because we're definitely going to bring them up to him, plus some of our own questions. We're going to try to tap him for all the information we can get out of him. And see if he'll slip up and say if there's going to be a season 2, because I'm pretty sure he'll know. Because he did survive season 1. Then next Saturday, we will not be live, just to let you guys know. So, I mean, it's nothing that you guys have to push to see. It'll come out at the same time, but we won't be live because are going to have Miss Ursa Wren, Shamila Dever. I think that's how you say it. It's Devar, so it's Devar. She voiced Ursula Wren in the Clone Wars and in Rebels. She's coming on. We're actually going to record that on this Sunday. So we got that coming out. And then we have a few more people we're just trying to set in stone coming up in the next couple weeks. And we're trying to get everything set up. So we got some exciting episodes over the next couple weeks. So make sure that you guys don't miss out on anything. And you got anything else, Garrison?
Not that I can think of. I was just looking on my phone to see any more news. No, I think that's it for me.
So we will see you guys Saturday. May the force be with you. Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to LSR. If you've enjoyed the show, consider subscribing so you can be notified when new episodes are released. If you would like to be a guest on the show or just want to give us some feedback, feel free to email us. You can also reach out to us on all major social media platforms. Lightsaber Radio is produced by Pickfilm Media and is a Swaycast original, starring Kim Lanise, Garrison Turcotte, CJ Elliott, and Kyle McDaniel. And don't forget to join us next time for more adventures in a galaxy far, far away.